Hello, everybody. Welcome to Grown Men 2. This is a casual conversation with some friends, family, and we're going to talk about some issues that affect everybody, but also grown men too. I'm Byron Nelson.
I'm Dante Parker.
I'm Fade.
I'm Jarrell.
So we're going to start the topic off today with the first thing that got us on these screens. COVID. If it wasn't for that, we'd probably be doing a podcast together, except for Jarrell, because he's way in Michigan. In Pennsylvania. But we're going to talk about the COVID. I really don't have an issue with COVID because it never changed me. I know it changed a lot of people, but I sit in the house and I work from home. I work from home for the past year. So it doesn't bother me as much, but there are some things out there going on where people have COVID or may have COVID and pretending like they don't, or possibly ignoring the symptoms that they have, which causes issues. We know we got the mask issue that everyone's talking about. Nobody wants to wear a mask. They want to wear a mask, but they don't want to wear it in the store. All the crazy stuff, So what do you guys take on that? Anyone?
So I'll go first. So it's funny that you mentioned, people not knowing their carriers or being carriers and not caring. I'll tell you, so my wife told me the other day she had a friend come over, hanging out at the pool and everything like that, and they was talking about COVID. So the friend casually tells her, now her friend works at a car dealership and at a some type of clothing store. So in two very public spectrums, right?
Mm-hmm.
She says, if I knew I had COVID and all of that stuff, I wouldn't tell nobody. I wouldn't say anything. And I think that's the consensus. And I think to me that is why it continues to spread, because a lot of people have that thought process.
Okay, Dante.
Mind you, she's sitting in our house as she's saying that.
What?
Yeah.
So, hold on. You start the story off with talking like it was normal. And did she sit in your house? Did you immediately kick her out?
Yeah, it was my wife's, it's one of my wife's friends. She was
a friend
hanging
no
at the pool.
You need to get some new friends.
Don't tell me that.
What about you, Jarrell?
So I think that's kind of like the fear. I mean, there's a lot of people that's been hurting from work, just about everything. So you go down with COVID. If you don't have those personal days, you're taking those unpaid days. So I think there's a lot of people that would take that risk and, kind of ignore some symptoms, may not say anything until they felt bad. But I think to go on, where you started with the face mask and everything, it is frustrating, got to go somewhere, got to put on a face mask. Part of me doesn't want to, I'm not going to say put my faith, but put my belief in that, just because I think a lot of us aren't medical professionals, so we may not be taking on and off our mask properly. But that doesn't stop me from wearing it, because I know, there's a lot of people a lot smarter than me that's making these recommendations. And at the end of the day, it's not harming me to put on a mask. So with having two young children along with a pregnant wife, I'm of the mindset I might as well do it, because if I don't do it and I come down with COVID, how am I going to think then? And now I'm endangering my family. On top of, I got to go to work. And if I don't go to work, I'm not getting paid. So I think that's driving me. But I think a lot of people are so done and over with this mask and being told what to do, and not saying I'm not going to group everybody, but I think we as Americans don't like to be told what to do. You know, we got a lot of freedoms that our amendments give us. And I think a lot of people like to do that. You know, I think I was looking over the weekend over 4th of July, and I think it was somewhere down in Florida where they was just in the, I don't know if it was the ocean, the Gulf side or whatever it was, but they was just having a good old time, and everybody's right next to people. And it's like little kids. I saw a father with a little kid on his shoulders. And I'm like, I mean, I get it. Yeah, let's have fun. But I don't know personally if I could do it, because if something happened to a child of mine, I don't know if I could live with myself. So, you know, to answer your question, I think people are nervous. Some people are scared to come out and be 100 when it comes to, I'm feeling this way for personal reasons, or personal benefit. I'll throw it over to Mr. Parker.
So I just recently accepted a coaching job in the local area, and so every day I go to football practice, I have to wear a mask the entire time. So I'm in the heat, 90 some degrees outside, whatever it is, and I have to wear a mask. I do see, you know, definitely down here, a lot of people that, you know, walk into Walmart and these stores, department stores, and they don't have masks on. It's like you said, Jarrell, it's almost like people want to ignore the reality of the situation. And then on top of that, it doesn't help that you got, you know, President Trump downplaying stuff. And a lot of people listen to him, especially in this area. So you have a lot of that going on as well. I think that if he would do a better job of, you know, just being realistic and telling people what the truth about what's going on, I think that a lot of people will take it more seriously. But when you have somebody at that position and he's downplaying it, then, I mean, can you really blame anybody else downplaying it and not taking it serious when you have the commander-in-chief not taking it serious? But it's definitely crazy, man. I don't see little babies in the store, no mask on. I'm just like, dang, it can't be that serious to come to the grocery store to get a shirt and some flip flops, like, you know. But I don't know, man. I think it's just gonna come down to the fact that people do not take things serious. Just like if we go back to like what we talked about about a month ago, you know, people don't take things seriously until it affects them personally. Until that happens, then people just like, but then when they hit home, then it's like, oh, all gloves off. Now, hey, it's serious. By that time, it's too late.
Yeah.
But to me,
go ahead.
It's pretty serious. I'm sure when all of this broke out and as time went on, I'm sure you guys can think now how much closer COVID has been around you. Because I know for me, I've heard it was started with, oh, friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. And then next thing you know, oh, my cousin, my aunt, my sister. And it's, you know, been very, very close to home. So I don't know why people aren't taking it serious. Like, this thing is making people crazy. Let me tell this quick story. This lady I work with, her son, he worked with he was like a vendor, like at a grocery store, like stocking shelves and stuff like that. Like he did cards, like Hallmark cards. And he had coughed one day in a store, and somebody punched him in the head because he coughed.
Wow.
This thing is making people crazy, bro. Crazy.
And it's not. I don't think it's the virus is making people crazy. I think it's the lack of what Dante spoke about, leadership.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it. I'm going to play this. I'm not going to say Trump. I'm going to say, because it's a whole administration that allows this to be told this way. If I was in charge of a epidemic, regardless if it was a hoax, regardless if it was a major issue, I would make sure that the majority of people understand that there's possible danger in not doing anything. There's possible danger in ignoring it. So I will give them the best advice, as in to protect yourself. You get what I'm saying? Get tested. I would make everyone get tested. Why not? I understand they didn't have tests because they sent the test all over to China and Russia or wherever place they were sending the test. So we don't have the test. Now we have the test. Make everyone get tested. You know exactly who's tested. Now that you know everyone who's tested, everyone quarantines who's positive, and then you have the other ones who are not, who came back negative. They can go about their business whether they wear masks or not, instead of having the situation where some people may have it. You get what I'm saying? And then they don't know because they've never been tested. I've never been tested, but Angela's been tested. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna get tested next week. So, but I've never been tested. So, but I don't go around a lot of people. So it's not, but it doesn't take that much either. I can go around one person and pick it up, and vice versa, and give it to someone else. But without proper leadership or proper direction, some people just fall. They don't know. They hear something on one thing, and social media itself is the enemy of all things moving forward. I mean, if you think about it, media tells you one time this is what it is, and then turn around and says this. Whether it's a spin on story or whatever it is, the issue is that it's not being controlled by the person who should be controlling it, which is our president, who's over that stuff. And I'm not bashing him as a president in that sense, but I'm bashing him as a leader of that particular pandemic. I mean, epidemic, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is right now. It's a pandemic now. So he just didn't do a good job. And like you said, if you're going to deny that it's there, then let everyone go about their business. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't have media talking about it. You know what I'm saying? But you can't have I'm going to do this. I'm Superman. I'm not going to wear a mask because I don't have to wear a mask, but everyone else should wear a mask. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to listen to I'm not going to listen to all the experts because I think they're lying because there's something against me that they're trying to do. You get what I'm saying? And the me idea. You can't be me when there's a bunch of people that you're over. So I think that's the biggest issue right now we're facing, is that everyone has information from somewhere and no one has the real information.
Yeah. If I can add, speaking a little bit more to what you're saying, I think it's transparency, and that's what we don't have. It sucks because I think, when you're in leadership, I think transparency is important on these big type of topics, these big type of things. If we don't see our leaders leading by example and doing those things, then you get people that will fall in line. For instance, he asked a question about chloride or bleach, and whether he was joking or whether he wasn't, that's not a question that you ask, because that somebody is going to do that. Somebody's going to attempt that, because that's the type of people we are, and especially with the hysteria that comes along with it. On another side of it, I think the media news outlets have so much to do with this, because what people aren't realizing, and I realized this, I think it might have been 4th of July weekend, or maybe Memorial Day weekend, but they were like, oh, well, numbers are going up from over the weekend. But I'm like, hold on, but tests don't come back for maybe a week sometimes, maybe instant. So the numbers that you're talking about from over the weekend probably really wasn't from over the weekend. It probably was from possibly all the way out 2 weeks, if not more. So, but they don't say that. They just say, oh, I think last week Florida had the highest numbers ever. Okay, well, to Trump's credit, I think part of it is there are more tests available. 2, results are coming back from a week ago, from 2 weeks ago, from today. I know my wife just had an issue where somebody, that she works with, the home, if you go to the ER, it comes back instant. So the people that was in that home, they got tested instantly. Now the workers that work in the home, they got tested through a doctor's office, and it took almost 2 weeks to get the results back. So now you have some people that got it instantly and some people 2 weeks ago. But those numbers are going to look like two different things, even though they were from the same time period. They all got tested on the same day, but when they come back is different. And I think when we don't know and we don't see it, it causes that hysteria, because people are like, whoa, Florida had 9,000 new cases. Oh, Pennsylvania had 10,000 new cases. But it's not cases directly from today. So who knows what happened, whether somebody went to church, whether somebody went to a pool. We don't know how long ago. And then lastly, that I'll talk about the COVID is they are trying to like pinpoint where people are getting this from. And I find that very hard in that tracking that they're trying to do. I haven't done a ton of research in it. I've just looked at it. But it's very hard for me to say, well, I went to that pool party and that's where I got it from, knowing that, okay, well, I went to the grocery store, I went to the mall, I was in my car, I went to the gas station, I went to the restaurant, but yet they try to pinpoint it on, oh, there was a mass gathering 4th of July. That's where it came from. There was a church gathering and this person just happened to attend church. That's where it happened. So that's what frustrates me, is there's no transparency in the truth of what's going on, which leaves people in the unknown, and the unknown cause hysteria.
Because it allows people to come to their own conclusion.
Yeah.
They fill in the blanks themselves.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's not the great blanks.
No.
All right. So that's all I'm going to talk about with COVID, because it's
Actually, I want to
long.
say one other thing about COVID.
No, go ahead.
So the other crazy thing what Faye was saying about people going crazy. So I don't know if you heard about this, Jarrell, but in Bradenton, we had a church that was selling a miracle COVID. What was it? Some kind of miracle.
It's a cure.
Yes.
It was a cure. They said it was
for
a
people.
cure.
So it's, hey man, so it is definitely an issue. It is definitely an issue.
Trying to profit off of people's fear.
Yeah.
Little old Bradenton.
And that's funny because now I have to say something. Once again, it's about leadership. I remember we talked last time about leadership in a church. That leadership in a church failed those people. And imagine plenty of churches hearing that prior to that. And doing that exact same thing, they just didn't get caught yet.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's crazy.